Hello indie community, this is Scott the Indie Vlogger, and today I'd like to introduce you to an indie game known as Torchlight. Torchlight's an indie game created by the company Runic Games. Runic Games is an interesting company where the developers that started up Runic Games came from a AAA design company. They split off after they decided that they weren't getting the games they wanted and decided to make their own independent or indie game company to be able to produce the games that they want to be a part of. Torchlight was, as far as I'm aware, their first game that they put out. Right here, we're looking at the new character screen. As you can see in the basic game of Torchlight, there are 3 characters. Your basic melee character, the Destroyer, your ranged character, the Vanquisher, using guns, bows, any kind of ranged weapon, and your mage character, the Alchemist, using spells. Interesting feature that Torchlight has is they also have a pet that you can take with you. So in this case, you have a choice of a dog or a cat. I personally prefer the dog. I think he looks better. They're functionally the same, however. To start with, we'll go ahead and take a look at the ranged character, the Vanquisher. Welcome to Torchlight. It's your basic role-playing game, home-based town. A town besieged by monsters where all the normal citizens have fled and anyone who's left is there to make money and profit off of the attack that's going on. Torchlight does have a couple interesting things in their town. Like, for example, right here up front, you can see this guy down here. He's kind of a place where you can go gamble. You pay a low amount of money, but you're not sure if you're going to get something good or bad. So go ahead and do a gamble real quick. Let's see if we can get a good gun. You can see it's a one-handed pistol. We have no idea what the stats are. It's going to cost me 5,000. And here's what we get for it. 346 damage, 4% faster attack. A terrible, terrible gun compared to what I'm using. But that's what you get when you're gambling. You never know what's going to come out of it.
See you next time.
Right here we have 2 brothers. One of them allows you to salvage a weapon, removing the gems that are put in it. The other one allows you to salvage the gems, destroying the weapon that's put into it. Gives you a chance to decide what you want to keep and how to personalize your weaponry. And of course, you've got people giving you quests. This question mark here tells you, hey, I've got something for you to do. As you complete the quest, you earn money and prestige. We got a few other marketplaces, people selling enchanting or potions, and then just various items that you can buy. Another cool feature they have in Torchlight is they have these treasure chests. There are actually 2 of them in the town, one here and one here. This one up top allows you to share items between all of your saved characters. So if I place something in here, start another character, I can come over here and grab it and make use of it. Whereas this treasure chest down here is specific to the character you're on. Everything you have in this location, only this character can see.
You have done so much.
Another thing I want to show you is down here there's this guy. It looks like I've used all of his quests for the time. But when you contact him, if he's got a question mark above his head, he'll give you random quests that'll send you to places outside of the normal quest line to be able to build up experience, get more money. He doesn't currently have any for me right now, but it allows you to do more than just the default go straight down the dungeon quest. One really cool feature that Torchlight has is the ability to go fishing. Now, I know that sounds normal. A lot of games have done that these days. But when you go fishing, you wind up catching these fish that allow you to customize your pet. So let's say I just caught this fish. I don't remember which one I just caught, so we'll just give him one. Let's say we want our dog to be a spider. So we'll come over here. Oop. We'll feed our dog a spider. There we go. So now our pet is a spider, and he runs around. Basically, it doesn't change anything other than his look, but it gives you the opportunity to customize your character just a little bit more. Now, these do run out after a while. He'll revert back to a dog. And there are some that make it permanent, but the one that I gave him is temporary. But again, that's just a fun way to customize your character and make it a little different. Now, Torchlight is your run-of-the-mill action RPG. Run around, fight, use your spells, find new weapons to make yourself stronger and gain experience. I keep trying to attack my dog. He looks like a spider. Now, one of the cool things you can do, a little bit different than most other action RPGs, is you can actually give your pet spells to use for you. So you can see my pet will summon zombies, and it'll also summon a flaming sword. You'll see those helping me fight as time goes on. And he just does that on his own. As we get into a fight, that spell will get cast, and you'll see it out there fighting for us. I also have the capability to apply spells to myself. Each of those get placed in my hotbar, or I can place them in my hotbar to be able to be used. Now, Torchlight got a lot of its inspiration from Diablo. In fact, the developers who created it were some of the main developers of the Diablo series. So you'll see a lot of similar things to what you see in Diablo. You'll see epic monsters, you'll see special named monsters, major boss fights, all that kind of stuff. Oh, there's a secret up here. There you can see those zombies getting summoned by my dog. Again, sometimes I see those pop up and I'm like, ah, shoot them! But no, they're mine.
I am hurt.
Oh no! There's the gold. The joy of any action RPG. You die and die again. There we go. That opened that secret. One thing to be leery of, anytime you see a chest, it could very well be a mimic. You never know. Oh, or it could be trapped. That too. Oh, and as you can see, my dog has reverted back to dog mode. Oh, there we go. Here's another cool feature. You can actually let your pet carry stuff for you. And in fact, when you reach a point where you're too full and you just don't even have room with your pet, you can click this button right here, and your pet will run back to town, sell the stuff he has, bring you back the gold, and you don't even have to leave the battle. Ouch. If you notice, as I killed that guy, my fame went up. Fame is a status that allows you to get various quests from one of the characters. Your fame has to be high enough for him to give you specific quests. Of course, each character class has its own strengths and weaknesses. For example, the mage uses a ton of mana, but each of his attacks are just destructive. He also has absolutely no armor and can just die in any fight, so you gotta stay back away from everything.
My mana is low.
So Torchlight's been around for a while. Why would I choose to show a game like Torchlight in an intro to indie? Well, the answer to that is simple. Torchlight is a major success in the indie game revolution. A group of people broke away from a AAA company, decided to make their own independent game company, and came up with such a beautiful and amazing game as this. Now, granted, they had a lot of skill, a lot of talent, and a lot of experience, which a lot of indie game developers don't have. But still, it shows what an indie game can be.
You have
You have triggered a trap. I didn't know that. Oh, what was that weird explosion thing? That must have been the trap. One of the cool things that they kept from the Diablo idea was the random world generation. You never know which way you're going to go. When you get out into the world, it randomly creates it so that you have no idea which direction you need to go to get out of the room you're in. To be honest, that was one of my favorite things in Diablo, that when the third Diablo came out, I was really sad that it didn't have. Whenever you see these giant named monsters, they always have a bunch of basic ones around them that are like them. So you saw the little spiders that were helping it out. A lot of times those will even be slightly more powerful than a normal spider or a normal creature of its own type. So there you go, there's a giant named slime, you got these little slimes, and each one, when you shoot them, they zap you with electricity. I guess that was the other thing, was zapping with electricity. So in the story of Torchlight, there is this stuff called an ember. It's a magical substance that corrupts whoever comes in contact with it. It's what's used by any magic user to create their magical powers. Well, this happens to be an ember mine, and the power of that ember mine is destroying the city of Torchlight and basically turning people evil.
I'm overburdened.
Now I have you. What have you done with Ulrich?
I am here, Brink. I sent for Syl, but I don't recall inviting you or your friend. You may still prove useful, however. Still.
Now for one of those epic boss battles I promised you. Okay, maybe a little less epic than expected. Granted, this is the first boss of the game. Relatively easy to beat.
No! What has happened? Alas, my friend.
Hi there.
You have begun a new quest.
Power of the Destroyer is, of course, high armor, melee combat. You can get up close and personal. If that's the kind of person you are, you want to be in the thick of things, you should pick up the Destroyer. course, along with being up close and in the middle of the battle, you also need a whole lot of health potions. Yeah, you've got a lot of armor, but there's still a lot of things attacking you, so come prepared. I feel the power. Let's see, what do we have? Let's do that. Nice. Get yourself knocked out, dog. Ah, there's two named ones side by side. That's not good. Ooh. Oh, yeah. I would say that turned out pretty good. Oh, you're not going to tell me I triggered a trap? I love when my dog spits out fireballs.
Well, hello.
Hey, I found your thing for you. Fortune, here we come. So in closing, some of the good things about Torchlight, it's got fun, interesting graphics instead of the darker feel of like Diablo. It's kind of a little more upbeat and interesting, a little more childish, but it works. The graphics work for the game. It's got all the things that I miss from the old action RPG Diablo games: the random generated world, the epic battles, the named characters that have their little powerful minions that hang out with them. All those fun things, built by a group who broke off and away from the AAA companies to build their own independent company. And basically, it's a start to what became the indie revolution. I actually believe this is one of the games, or one of the companies that really made the push over from the AAA being the big name brands and the big things to get, to indie becoming a real threat to those AAA companies. So if you haven't tried it yet, I know it's an older game. It still lives up to all the other games that are out today. It's still a lot of fun, very enjoyable. If you haven't tried it, go get it and play Torchlight. I know you'll love it. That's all the time I have for today. Thank you again for joining me, and you guys have a good one. We'll talk to you later.